An information security governance process is the first process that I would recommend to establish in the beginning of this project. Now, it's important to mention that the ISO 27001 standard doesn't mandate or require you to establish such a process. However, as all organizations have a governing entity that is closely related with the information security function, it is highly advisable to establish an information security governance process to make sure that the governing body and the operational organization works together hand in hand. Now, first of all, I think it's important to talk about the difference between governance and management. Governance and management work together, but they play very different roles. Governance is about setting the rules and boundaries that guide an organization. So it's an indirect way of steering the business by defining policies, setting objectives, and making sure everything aligns with legal and strategic goals. You can think of governance as creating the framework within which decisions are made. So it's all about oversight and not the day-to-day execution. Governance is typically the responsibility of boards of directors or similar governing entities. Management, on the other hand, is more hands-on. It's about directly guiding, controlling, and evaluating an organization by arranging and using resources effectively. Managers take the rules and goals set by governance and turn them into action. They oversee teams, allocate resources, and ensure daily operations run smoothly. Contrary to popular belief, CEOs or other members of executive management are a managerial function and are not tasked with governance activities. They are the ones executing the strategy outlined by the board. So in short, governance provides the vision and constraints, while management makes it happen. Without governance, management lacks direction, and without management, governance remains just theory. Alright, now this course comes with a template for an information security governance process that you can use as a blueprint for your own process. Now, how to use this template? We have input on the left-hand side and output on the right-hand side. Input, or information if you will, is indicated with the file symbol, whereas activities or sub-processes are displayed in this rectangular shape if you will. Now let's look on the left-hand side. What's very important for information security governance is the existence of a business vision and a business strategy. So therefore we have a connection with the enterprise governance process, which provides us with the business strategy and the business objectives. One task of the governance function, highlighted in the blue section here in the middle, is to define information security objectives. You will learn about them when we talk about the policy and clause 6.2, that's about information security objectives. Now, these information security objectives should or have to be aligned with your overall business strategy so that they support your business objectives. This is what's typically called business alignment. So there we have this connection. And the output are the so-called information security objectives that are derived from the business objectives and are then an input to other processes on the right-hand side. And that's basically how you have to read this diagram. Now, of course, we don't know who in your organization is responsible for which of these activities and how they are executed in detail. But you get a brief and high-level overview of what needs to be covered and what needs to be considered. So here in this case, we have 4 tasks to monitor the ISMS performance, to determine the scope of the ISMS, something we will learn in step 2, to define information security objectives, covered in step 4, and to determine risk criteria relevant for all sections about risk management. So in total, we have 5 pieces of input and 4 pieces of output that are relevant for different processes of our ISMS processes. Now, it's important to mention that all the activities that we see here in the blue section in the middle, these are governance activities. I know ISO 27001 doesn't mention the term governance once, but these tasks are highly strategic tasks, like for example defining organizational objectives, determining risk criteria like the risk appetite, so how much risk is an organization willing to take. And these are all decisions that are decided at the highest level of the organization. And that's why we need an information security governance process.